And now I'd like to invite Mr. Mokbil to present the report of the working group. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Saeed Rais, أصحاب السعادة المندوبون.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, Excellencies, I am honored to address the Human Rights Council today as the chairperson rapporteur of the working group on the use of mercenaries as a means of violating human rights and impeding the right of peoples to self-determination. I would also like to commend the role of the outgoing colleagues, and I would like to express my thanks to you on behalf of the members of the working group who were recently appointed. We thank the Council for the confidence they have placed in us. Mr. President, as you are aware, the mandate of our working group is twofold: monitoring and studying the effects of mercenaries and mercenary-related activities on the impact of the activity, as well as the impact of the activities of PMSCs on the enjoyment of human rights.
Ladies and gentlemen, the report I am presenting today is based on some of our findings on recruitment and use of children by non-state armed groups, which include mercenaries, foreign fighters, and private military and security companies. I will also briefly present the main findings of the working group on its visit to Ghana. Distinguished delegates, around the world, thousands of children are associated with non-state armed groups, including mercenaries and foreign fighters. The recruitment and use of children in armed conflicts is one of 6 grave violations identified by the Security Council. And it is itself a grave violation of international law. As you are aware, international law, international humanitarian law, international human rights law, international criminal law recognize children's rights and the need to protect their dignity. The working group welcomes states' commitment to protect children in armed conflict by ratifying the optional protocol to the Convention on the Right of the Child on the Involvement of Children in Armed Conflict, which has been ratified by more than 160 member states. While the majority of situations include forcible recruitment, other factors include socio-economic conditions, including poverty, hunger, and financial insecurity. For non-state armed groups, recruiting children often has comparative advantage over adults, as they are easily intimidated, they are less costly in terms of equipment, and also in wages being paid to them. The working group noted with concerns that some children who had been forcibly recruited later became active members of the armed group which initially abducted them. We also paid specific attention to the gender dimension and notes that boys and girls serve different tasks in armed groups. The working group also informed that sometimes private military and security companies were involved in the recruitment of children to take part in hostilities or in order to guard military facilities of state party to the conflict. Among the various issues related to former child soldiers and private military and security companies, the working group stressed that there should be an effective process by companies to determine individuals who have committed war crimes or human rights violations when they were associated with armed groups, as these individuals would not be suitable for security services. Though we are concerned about the punitive approach taken by some states towards children associated with armed groups, and insist that the best interest of the child approach should be first approach. Responsibles of this phenomenon should focus on the separation, rehabilitation and reintegration of children. A specific focus should be paid to girls to address their social and psychological needs. We are grateful for the important work carried by the Special Representative of the Secretary General for Children and Armed Conflict, which some of our research benefited from. The working group calls on the cooperation of all stakeholders to continue to support measures which could contribute to the prevention and protection of children being recruited by non-state armed groups in conflicts. Mr. President, distinguished delegates, the working group undertook official visits to Ghana, Austria and Chad. I reiterate my appreciation to these governments for the excellent cooperation given to us. I will present the findings on our visit to Ghana, and regarding the report to Austria and Chad will be presented next year. Regarding Ghana, the private security industry in Ghana involves some 400 legally registered companies with around 4,500,000 personnel, compared with 33,000 members of the police force. Around 1,900 companies are operating illegally. The Ministry of Interior has made the positive effort of establishing a special unit on the work of the BMSCs. However, the working group observes that oversight of these companies needs an independent mechanism to oversee the industry and to ensure that operations are in accordance to the law is needed. The working group also referred to the positive aspects of membership in the International Code of Conduct and Montreux Document Forum. On the national level, positive initiatives, including the voluntary principles on security and human rights and the establishment of the Association of Private Security Organizations in Ghana, were also commended. Distinguished delegates, I thank you all for the attention given to my presentation, and I look forward to a constructive dialogue on the issues that I have raised. Thank you, Mr. President.
Muchas gracias.
Many thanks, Mr. Mokbil.